Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
A very warm welcome in the third module of the week 2 of the course Roadmap for Patent Creation, titled Novelty. In this module, we will be discussing one of the criterion for the patent, novelty. In the earlier module, we have seen the definition of the patent. In that, we have noted that certain criteria need to be satisfied by the invention to be considered for a patent granting. Now, which are these criteria? So, there are three criteria: novelty, non-obviousness and industrial application. In this module, we will concentrate on novelty. So, what is this novelty? As per Oxford Dictionary, novelty is quality of being new, original or unusual. Before going in detail of novelty aspect, I wish to put forward definition of a invention. As per section 2J of Indian Patents Act 1970, invention means a new product or process involving an inventive step and capable of industrial application. So, 3 points mentioned in the definition are: first, new product or a process; second is an inventive step; and third is capable of industrial application. As per the definition, new product or a process is the novelty aspect of the invention. Inventive step is the non-obviousness aspect of the invention, and capable of industrial application is the industrial applicability. So, we are dealing with the first aspect in this module, that is a novelty. Now, what is that meaning of inventive step? That also we will see here. Section 2JA defines inventive step as a feature of an invention that involves technical advance as compared to the existing knowledge or having economic significance or both, and that invention not obvious to a person skilled in the art. So, this is inventive step. Now, in the act you will see one more definition, that is a new invention. So, as per section 2L, new invention is any invention or technology which has not been anticipated by publication in any document or used in the country or elsewhere in the world before the date of filing of patent application with complete specification, that is, the subject matter has not fallen in public domain or that it does not form part of the state of the art. We will see the details of, we will go through this definition. So, two important points in this definition: any invention or technology which has not been anticipated by publication in any document. Second point, any invention or technology which has not been used in the country or elsewhere in the world before the date of filing of patent application. So, these two things are very important: publication and use. And then it says the subject matter has not fallen in public domain or that it does not form part of the state of the art. So, it should not be in the public domain and it should not be a part of the state of the art. Now, what is the meaning of a state of the art? As per Oxford Dictionary, state of the art is using the most modern or advanced techniques or methods as good as it can be at the present time. This is the definition of the state of the art. So, now you can understand from these two definitions, that is invention and new invention, that invention should not form a part of a global state of the art. Novelty is assessed at a global level. So, context is always global. Novelty is determined through extensive literature and a patent search. So, these 3 points, that is, it should not form the part of global state, it will be assessed at a global context, and novelty is determined through extensive literature and patent search. It is very important. Now, patent search is essential and critical for asserting novelty, as most of the information reported in patent documents does not get published anywhere else. So, patent searching and analysis is very important, and we have already dedicated one module on that patent searching and analysis, and you have seen the details of that. So, this is important. Now, check this example. Here a 16-year boy works on the project in a medical sciences domain and develops a device to detect silent heart attacks. So, here is the case.
I'm Akash Manoj and I'm a 16-year-old researcher in cardiology, and what I've been doing over the past few years is researching about detecting silent heart attacks. The silent heart attacks are very different from conventional heart attacks, and they're quite less often talked about. So I've been able to make a device that could detect heart attacks up to 6 hours in advance. So these silent heart attacks occur to at-risk patients, so patients with diabetes, patients with abnormal cholesterol levels, absolutely any patient with any heart-related disease. So these patients are vulnerable to nerve damages, and so they are always at risk of getting a heart attack that is silent. And that's what I'm going to be talking about at TEDx Gateway, and I'm really excited to be here in this platform. I think the collaboration is going to be really great. TEDx is something about bringing out ideas on a single platform to be shared for a wider audience, and Infos is something about technology and policy oriented. So what we have today is technology and policies, but they're not integrated. I think this platform, TEDx with Infi, would definitely bring about a quantum leap in taking that technology and integrating it with the policy and giving out more ideas, giving out more spaces for medtech startups and things like that.
How we will check novelty aspect? As per definition, the invention is a novel. Now, in this case, we will relate that definition. So, as per definition, the invention is novel if any invention or technology which has not been anticipated by publication in any document, that is the first thing. And second, any invention or technology which has not been used in the country or elsewhere in the world before the date of filing of patent application. Here in this case, if inventor Akash, a 16-year-old boy, he want to patent this invention, he has to satisfy these two conditions mentioned above. So, before making his invention public, he should have filed a patent for this invention, that is the first thing, and second, he should not have commercialized his product before filing the patent. So, no publication or no commercialization before filing the patent application, but definitely this is the invention which is related to medical field. So, he probably have taken some trials, clinical trials, that is accepted thing. Okay. So, then only we will say that invention or technology is not anticipated by publication, and invention or technology has not been used in the country or elsewhere in the world. So, there are a few things we have to remember, that before filing the patent, inventor and applicant must ensure that they are maintaining a secrecy. That is, they are not disclosing things to people who probably will share the invention with others and they may make it public. So, sharing of invention should be careful, and it should be very careful, means the inventor and applicant should be very careful that they will maintain the secrecy. There are provisions in the act, if by any mistake or by any chance, if you have done your invention is disclosed, and if somebody takes it fraudulently, then there are provisions in the act that you can take action against that. But to avoid such kind of cases, it is always suggested that maintain a proper secrecy, directions whatever you can take cautions to protect that invention you have to take. There should not be a media disclosure, journal publication or web disclosure or a magazine publication. So, we have seen that publication should not be anywhere, means not only a research publications, but there should not be any media disclosure or web disclosure or magazine disclosure, nothing. So, no publication. Next is what you are thinking as a novel product or a process, it should not be a common knowledge by a concerned field experts. So, the persons who are working in that domain, they should not be aware of that particular thing whichever you are claiming as a new thing or a novel thing. Next is there should not be sale or no public display. So, if there are exhibitions and the exhibitions you are doing that display, then that publication display, that public display or sale at any place, it is not allowed before the filing of the patent. So, next is how patent examiner check this novelty. He will take into consideration few things. All documents published before the filing of the patent, that will include research papers, magazines, newspaper, traditional knowledge related anything, whatever it may be. So, he will take into look all these documents. He will check all patent documents filed before in any of the patent offices. So, whatever the patent documents available at that time, he will check everything and he will see that if before the filing of the patent, whether that invention is mentioned anywhere in the patent document or any of the literature. Now, if the subject under consideration is not disclosed before the filing, then we say novelty aspect is satisfied. A prior art will be considered as a anticipatory if all the subject matter of the invention under consideration is cited in the prior art. So, if anything which is related to the invention is there and if it is mentioned then in the prior art, then we will consider that okay, the invention is not a novel because it is present in the prior art. But what do you understand by the prior art? According to European Patent Office, prior art is, it is any evidence that your invention is already known. Prior art does not need to exist physically or commercially available. It is enough that someone, somewhere, sometime previously has described or shown or made something that contains a use of technology that is very similar to your invention. So, this is very important definition. Prior art is any evidence of related to your invention and if it is known already. So, it is not necessary that physically or commercially it will be available now. So, some old pictures or some traditional knowledge which is coming from the means years, it is passed from one generation to another. It may not be documented, but somewhere it is already used, it is already known. So, it is what we can say that it is a prior art. So, it is not necessary that anything which is related to your invention should be physically or commercially available. So, here first to file is a very important thing. In one of the earlier modules, we have introduced two terminologies, that is a first to file and first to invent. We have mentioned it in the when we are dealing with a Genentech case. Now, here first to invent was the rule in USA, but now everywhere in the world. This case was in 1974. At that time, USA was following that first to invent, but please note that anywhere in the world now the rule is a first to file. So, if you want to get the patent, it is always suggested and it is always necessary, it is a mandatory that novelty aspect should be taken care, and before publication or public display your invention you should file a patent for that. So, that is before filing the invention, the subject matter should not be a part of the prior art. Now, we quickly see a few important examples about novelty establishment, which will help you to understand the novelty aspect in little more detail. In Lallubai Chakkubai versus Chimnalal Chunilal, in this case, what the thing is happened is that court has established that with reference to the publication in public domain, it is clarified that if the prior publication is contained in a document, it may not be necessary that members of the public should have actually read the document. That reading by the public is, you need not to prove that. It is enough that if the document is accessible to the public without much trouble. So, if that document related to whatever your invention is there, if that document is related to invention and if it is in the public domain and it is available to public, which is easily accessible, then novelty aspect is not satisfied in that case. So, it is not necessary that you have to prove that whether public have read that thing or not. Presence is enough to prove that novelty aspect is not satisfied. Check this decision on the control given by the control in one of the case. A document will not be proper anticipation unless it gives the public the same information as that given by the applicant's specification. Mosaic of extracts called from several documents would not constitute a relevant anticipation. This is very important. If somebody will try to challenge your novelty aspect of your patent based on this, that is, you have disclosed something in your invention, and for challenging that novelty aspect, if somebody uses the extracts from the several documents and then by collating that thing, if they are challenging your invention, then that is not constitute a relevant application or a relevant anticipation. So, that will not be considered as a challenge to your novelty. So, he has to prove that really your thing is not novel based on the publication aspect or availability in the prior art. Okay. In deciding the case between Crompton Greaves and BHEL Bell, Patent Office has given this perspective. For establishing novelty aspect, we do patent search report. This search report is based on checking all the patent and other literature documents. If search report is positive, then chances of grant of that patent are more, provided other criteria of patentability are fulfilled. So, search report is a very important step for the filing of the patent, and that will take care of the novelty aspect. So, you have seen what that novelty is, what is the definition of invention, then inventive step, new invention, and what is the novelty. That is a global perspective, it should be the first time in the world, and that is what the novelty is then. With this we come to the end of this session, and in the next session we will check the another criteria of patent, that is a non-obviousness. Thank you.